What if Uncle Iroh had zero chill? Unlike the other Uncle Iroh cards in the Avatar set, Iroh Dragon of the West is not trying to share things with you, he's not trying to teach you a lesson, he's trying to laser you in the face with lightning along with his friends. He is 4 mana for a 4/4 with haste and mentor, so when he attacks he puts a +1/+1 counter on an attacking creature with less power, and then at the beginning of combat on your turn, each creature you control with a counter on it gets Firebending 2 until end of turn. One thing Iroh will teach you is combat sequencing, since his abilities are unintuitively reversed. His second ability to give Firebending resolves right at the beginning of combat, and then he mentors when he attacks, so the creature that he gives a counter to won't Firebend until the next turn. Iroh also doesn't care what kind of counter is on the creature, as long as it has any counter on it at the beginning of combat, it gets Firebending. So I made a budget build of this deck with a box of scraplings, and turns out it's still strong. You get to run a bunch of modified synergies, and it turns out that Goro Goro is the perfect outlet for all of your Firebending mana. And normally a deck with a bunch of aggressive 1 and 2 drops gets their creatures outclassed pretty quickly, but the problem with this is your opponents have to guess, are they going to spend that Firebending mana on an ability on the board, or a big trick that's going to pump all of your creatures? Or maybe you can save all of that Firebending mana until your next main phase and put a bunch more creatures on the board. With a handful of creatures, you should also be Firebending enough mana to be able to pay for Hellkite Charger over and over again for infinite combats. The deck list, as always, is on Moxfield, and while mine clocks in at about $87, you could certainly build it for under $50 since most of the cost is tied up in only a couple cards.